So we're about to wrap this up. We're almost done here. And so far we've done the fuselage and the fins, the launch lug. We've done the parachute and it's almost all ready to go. And the engine mount assembly is done. And now that it's dry, you'll see that this piece here isn't stuck down, that I can pull this up because you need to be able to pull it up to get the engine into place. Alright, so one last thing before we make this final assembly, and that'll be to do the shock cord anchor. So we're going to cut this out, and you'll notice that the dotted line kind of divides this up into 3 pieces. Now, the reason for that is that you don't want the string to slip out. So I'm going to show you on a bigger sample that's easier to see of what it is basically that you're doing. And that is, you're going to take he had you put a bead of glue down across the middle, okay? And he wants the string to be in the glue. And that's kind of important, so that once you have this and you fold it back, that means so far, if you looked at this from the side, in this part here it's doubled up because it's folded inside the fold. And if I put more glue in here, on this part, and I fold this again, now this is triple folded inside of here. So this cord goes down the end, up the other piece, and down the other piece. So it's not coming out. If I try to pull it, it shouldn't come out when it's dry. So that's what you're going to do with this. Then, when he said to put this piece when it's time, and of course this is too big, but he said when you put this piece inside the rocket tube to put it about 2 inches down, the main reason for that is because if you don't put it down far enough and you go to put the nose cone in, and then the nose cone won't fit because this is in the way. So he's making sure that you're not going to have to worry about that when the nose cone goes in. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put glue across the shock cord anchor and take the shock cord anchor, which is the springy one, and I'm going to put it into the end, and I'm going to fold this down on that first fold, okay, and when I fold it again the second time now, it's like triple folded in here, so that is not going to come out. Now hopefully you have a little more than this left amount, but I'm going to take this piece now because that's pretty much the end here, and I'll start to assemble these last pieces. So first thing, I'm going to take a hold of this, and if you'll remember, we glued the knot so it shouldn't come undone, and this is metal and this is plastic. That means this is soft. You don't want to turn the eye hook because your shroud lines will get all tangled up. So instead, you're going to want to turn the nose cone. Mysterious hand appears out of nowhere. Thank you, Ryan. You're going to hold the eye hook with one hand and put the eye hook into the hole on the engine's nose cone and turn this until it tightens down. Now, don't be too manly about it and keep tightening and tightening till you strip it out, okay? Once it's in, it'll stay in. Alright, so now this whole assembly is done, and I'm going to glue this inside the top of the rocket. Put a little glue on here, and again I'm going to reach in at least an inch down, if not a little bit more would be good, and I'm pressing it to the side. You don't want it to block the tube, You want it pressed up against the side. So this part is all complete. Now, the last part will be to hold the end where the clip sticks out. You're going to hold that end and put a bead of glue around each of these spacer rings. This helps keep all the heat away from the body of the rocket. And then you're going to take it and carefully, that worked real easily, and put it up inside the rocket, and you want to leave about a 1/4 inch down here. So, and that's very important. You don't want it too far. If it's too far up inside, you'll burn up your rocket when the rocket fires. But if it's too low when it's down here and there won't be enough room, then you're going to have a problem too. So this will give you just the right kind of depth that you need. And then basically, at this point, your rocket is done, and all we can do is sit and wait for it to dry. I could put the shroud together with the parachute and stuff it inside, but the shock cord is still wet in there. This is still wet on this end. So for the time being, it really is all assembled and put together. So I'm going to take my rocket and gently put it in my bin and let it dry.